Welcome back to Single, Taken, or Somewhere in Between, the podcast that talks about it all. I'm your host, Lamar.
And I'm Tanya, your two best friends who will absolutely tell you what your other friends won't.
And today, we're going there. We're talking about toxic friendships.
The friends who drain you, use you, smile to your face, and shade you behind your back.
The ones you keep making excuses for, because that's just how they are.
Yeah, we're done with that today.
Look, everybody talks about toxic relationships, but toxic friendships? That's the one people tiptoe around.
Not us. Not today. If you're already feeling a little uncomfortable, good. Stay right there.
So let's get into it, because first, we gotta be fair. There's a difference between a toxic friend and a friend who's just going through it right now.
Yes, because people have seasons, hard seasons, and a real friend shows up for that.
Right. So we're not saying if your friend is struggling or going through a rough patch, cut them off. That's not the conversation.
The conversation is about the pattern, the consistent, recurring pattern of behavior that leaves you feeling worse, not better.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Toxic friendships are sneaky. They don't always announce themselves.
There's no red flag waving in your face like there sometimes is with a romantic partner. It creeps up on you.
The biggest sign for me, I started paying attention to how I felt after I left. Like, after hanging out with this one friend, I won't say names, you know how we do, I would come home and I'd just be tired. Not physically tired, emotionally wrung out. Yes, I couldn't explain it at first. I kept thinking, did something happen? Was it a bad day? No, it was every time. Every single time.
Because what you didn't realize yet was that every conversation was about him. His problems, his drama, his opinions. And the moment you tried to bring up anything going on with you, somehow it circled back.
Circled back so fast it gave me whiplash.
I had a friend like that too. And from the outside, we looked like goals, matching energy, always together. People thought we were the closest thing. But internally, I felt invisible in that friendship, like I was a supporting character in her story.
And she never even knew it, or maybe she did.
That's the part that stings.
So listen, think about this right now. Think about that one friend who just popped into your head. How do you actually feel when you leave their presence? Lighter, or like you just did a shift?
That feeling is data. Don't ignore it.
But here's the thing. Even when people get that data, they still don't leave. And that's what I want to get into right now. Because I've watched people, good, self-aware people, walk away from a romantic partner the second things got toxic, like 2 bad months and they're updating their relationship status. But that same person will drag a bad friendship out for a decade.
A decade with receipts.
Why is that? Why do we give friendships so much more rope?
I think it's the history. That's the first thing that gets thrown at you the moment you even think about stepping back. But we've been friends since middle school. We grew up together. And suddenly all that shared time feels like debt you owe them.
Longevity becomes a guilt trip.
Exactly. And it's not just internal guilt either. It's social. If you've got mutual friends, shared group chats, family connections, ending that friendship doesn't just affect two people. It reshapes your whole world.
You're not just losing a friend, you're potentially losing a whole table at brunch.
Right. And people will avoid that disruption for years rather than just deal with the one relationship that's actually the problem.
Then there's the identity piece. Some people's entire sense of self is wrapped up in their friend group. Like, we is how they see themselves. Stepping away from that feels like losing a piece of who you are.
We romanticize loyalty and friendship in a way we just don't in dating. Real friends stick it out. But nobody's telling you to stay with a partner who drains you.
And here's the reframe I keep coming back to. Longevity is not the same as quality. Time invested doesn't make something valuable, it just makes it familiar.
Familiar is not the same as good for you.
Okay, so let's talk about a very specific type of toxic friend, one we all know, the user.
Oh, we're going there.
The user is the friend who goes completely silent for 3, 4, 5 months, and then your phone lights up, and you already know. Before you even open the message, you know.
Hey, been a while. Hope you're good. And at the end of that text, there is a request. Every single time.
I had a friend like this, and I mean, I was basically his personal on-call service. He'd arrive at midnight, Lamar. Need someone to co-sign some story to tell his girlfriend? Lamar. Need to borrow money he was never, ever going to pay back?
Lamar.
Lamar. And the one time I needed him to just show up, the man was suddenly unreachable. Phone off, busy, unavailable. I didn't even need anything big. I just needed him to be there.
That's the thing about the user. The relationship only has one direction. Their needs flow to you and nothing flows back.
Nothing. It's a one-way street with a toll booth.
But here's where I want us to pause because this is important. And I say this with love. Do you check in, like genuinely, not just when you need something either? Because sometimes we're so focused on the takers that we don't audit our own habits.
That's fair. That is very fair.
And listener, think about this. When is the last time that friend asked how you were doing and actually waited for the answer? Not a small talk, actually waited.
If you're struggling to remember, that's your answer right there.
Okay, so we've talked about the friend who only shows up when they need something. But I need to get into the one that actually hurts more, because at least the user is obvious eventually. This next type, they're sneaky.
Oh, we're talking about the hater in a friendship hoodie.
Exactly. The one who's right there, front row, posting your stuff, calling you your best friend, but the minute something good happens for you, something shifts.
You feel it before you can even name it. The energy gets weird. The responses get short. You share good news, and instead of, "Oh my God, I'm so happy for you," you get, "Oh, wow, yeah, that's cool. I mean, hopefully it works out."
Hopefully it works out. I had a friend, this was a big moment for me, a real milestone, and she just went quiet, like radio silence. No congratulations, nothing. And when I brought it up later, she made it about how stressed she was at the time.
And it's hard because you want to give grace. Maybe they're going through something. Maybe their own insecurities are loud right now. There's a difference between a friend who's struggling and a friend who's low-key rooting against you.
Yes, one is human, the other is a pattern.
Here's how I think about it. If your good news feels like a threat to them, that's data. That's not a rough week. That's information about how they actually see you.
Your wins should be safe in your circle, full stop.
Real friends don't need to dim your light to feel warm.
And listener, I want you to sit with this one. Who do you hesitate to share good news with? Not because they're going through something, but because you already know the energy won't match the moment. You already know you'll leave that conversation feeling smaller than when you started it.
If that name came to mind immediately, keep listening. And here's where it gets complicated, because most of us already know deep down who those people are. The user, the hater in disguise. We know, but we don't leave. And a big reason why? The loyalty trap.
Oh, this one is so real.
There's this narrative, and it's everywhere, in how we grew up, in the music, and the culture, that says real ones don't walk away. That if you cut somebody off, you're cold, you're disloyal, you think you're better than them.
And that narrative will keep you stuck in a friendship that is quietly costing you everything.
Loyalty is a beautiful thing, but loyalty and obligation are not the same thing. You can genuinely love someone and still decide that the friendship is no longer healthy for you. Those two things can both be true.
I had to learn that the hard way. I held on to a friendship for years, out of pure guilt. We had history. She'd been through real stuff, and I felt like if I pulled back, I was abandoning her. So I kept showing up, kept being there, and the whole time I was running on empty because it was never reciprocal. What it cost me was my own peace, consistently for a long time.
And some people know exactly what they're doing when they play that card. After everything we've been through, I thought you were my real friend. That's not loyalty. That's manipulation wearing loyalty's clothes.
The guilt is real, though. Nobody wants to be the bad guy.
I know, and you're not. Choosing yourself is not a betrayal. Letting go of something that's draining you is not giving up on someone. It's an act of self-respect. You're allowed to protect your peace. That's not cold. That's growth.
So let's talk about the how, because knowing you need to let go and actually doing it are two very different things.
Right. And there's no one-size-fits-all. You've got the slow fade. You just gradually pull back, less response, less availability. That works when the friendship was more of a habit than a deep bond.
Then there's the honest conversation. And that one's hard, but sometimes it's necessary, especially if there's real history there and you want to close it with some dignity.
And sometimes it's a clean break. No explanation, no drama. Block and breathe.
And whichever route you take, just know you might still grieve it. Even if that friendship was hurting you, that's normal. Grief doesn't mean you made the wrong call.
But I'll tell you what comes after. Space. Real space. I noticed I was laughing more, stressing less, not dreading my phone lighting up.
Your circle gets smaller and it gets so much better. 4 people who actually show up beats 40 who are just around.
You are allowed to outgrow people. That's not betrayal. That's becoming who you're supposed to be.
So here's what we want you to sit with today. Think about one friendship in your life that consistently leaves you feeling worse, not better. Just one. What are you still holding on to, and why?
You don't have to have the answer right now. Just be honest with yourself.
And if this episode hit home, share it because somebody in your life needs to hear this too.
Subscribe, leave us a review, follow us on socials. All the links are in the show notes.
We'll see you next time. Single, taken, or somewhere in between, we're here for all of it.
Take care of yourselves and your circles.